Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing really well today. My name's Icy and welcome back for yet another video. Now, unfortunately, you're not going to be looking at my face today, but instead you'll be looking at some actual footage coming from the newly released expansion for World of Warcraft, which is, of course, the Mists of Pandaria, as well as some footage coming from the fresh and successful Arena.net MMO, which is obviously Guild Wars 2. Now, today we're going to be answering a single question, actually, because the other one, which was posted last week, I was unable to answer that question. I actually researched the topic on Google almost on every page to no avail. It came from a guy named XX, Mr. Funny Guy XX, who's actually one of my strongest subscribers. He asked, what have you found out about the sandwich so far? Have you uncovered what happened in that World of Warcraft hacking moment? And I was unable to, research that topic. I tried to put in the sandwich onto Google, and it gave me no full, complete results. So if any of you guys know about a certain hacking event that may have occurred during Vanilla WoW or Burning Crusade, let me know in the comments section. Otherwise, we're going to be moving on to the main question, which comes from a subscriber Alex Likes Waffles. He asks, personally, which game do you see yourself playing more, Guild Wars 2 or World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria, and why so? Okay, so first of all, let me say this before we actually get into answering this question. Now, I have both Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria. As you might have noticed, if you follow my Twitter, you can see any news or updates which I put up. I also have a Tumblr on which I post updates on my progress, my leveling progress in Guild Wars 2 especially. I just started Mists of Pandaria because it came out last week, right? So I started leveling on my Troll Mage in World of Warcraft, and it's a lot of fun. Honestly, I like the leveling process a lot better than it was in Cataclysm. So I do believe that the storyline of the Mists of Pandaria is much more engaging and immersive. You have a lot of cinematics going on, in-game cinematics, pre-rendered cinematics, and just a lot of stuff is going on. And honestly, I feel like Blizzard has made a lot of progress with this one. It seems like Blizzard has especially made this expansion a lot more fun. It seems to me like they've cut out a lot of those unnecessary quests, and they just made the flow of the questing a lot, smoother. And you just feel like there's progression going on, the world is changing, and you can see some phasing going on as well from time to time, which is awesome. And I adore the questing system, but I have to say that I am biased towards World of Warcraft because it has been 7 years since I've been subscribed to the game, so it's really hard to be negative against the game at this point. So I do still believe that the questing is still kind of grindy. You also have to kill a certain number of monsters, you have to collect stuff, you have to loot items. It's all the same thing over and over, and the cycle repeats, but it just seems like Blizzard has tweaked the questing system just slightly, actually a lot better. Just the way they've done it with those cinematics, they just made the experience more engaging. So actually in vanilla, it was a lot harder to do the questing, and it was mundane, dreadful. You had none of these cinematics. All you had to do was turn in a quest, bring the item back, vice versa. Nothing much. There was not a lot of involvement as far as cinematics, visuals went. It was more about the actual lore than the aesthetics. And I still respect lore for what it is. Warcraft lore has always been enriched and amazing and full of good stuff, but I just feel like Blizzard has just done so much more with the new expansion. I mean, lore isn't that important, let's face it. It's all about, getting the player engaged in a video game. If you want to read a book, go buy a book. If you want lore, read some lore in that book. But if you're going to be playing a video game, you have to be engaged. And as a gamer, you have to be experiencing fun. And it's not just about, working, grinding items or ingredients for your professions, or just getting that gold from questing. A video game is supposed to be fun. And so I just feel like the Blizzard employees the developers actually have made the experience much more enjoyable. So right now, I'm really liking the game. The dungeons are okay. I mean, for now, they seem too easy for me, but that's only because I'm running regular dungeons, not heroic modes, because I have not gone to level 90 yet. So right now, I'm actually 60% away from level 87, which is pretty reasonable. I'm not playing 24/7. And I wish I did, but I do have to, maintain school and work. And it's, I also have Guild Wars 2, which I'm playing here and there from time to time. But the great thing about Guild Wars 2 is that it's free to play. So right now, I'd say the better game for you, if you as a player, as a gamer, were to ask me which is the better MMO to play right now, I would say Guild Wars 2 by far, because World of Warcraft will not be worth your time. World of Warcraft is meant for nostalgic players. It's been there for a while, and honestly, it is slowly dying. And according to what I've heard, I think Mists of Pandaria might be the last expansion. I'm not sure. Blizzard might go as far to level 100 for the final level cap. I'm not sure about that, but it just feels like the World of Warcraft in general has lost its lust. And so actually, Blizzard is working on a new MMO, which is called Titan, which is supposed to be an FPS MMO. It may be or maybe not free to play, who knows? But right now, I honestly think that Guild Wars 2 it would be your better pick, because first of all, it's free to play. The questing system is it flows a lot better than in World of Warcraft. It's less linear. You can do a lot of stuff at the same time, and if you actually start a quest, you don't have to look for a specific item, but instead you look for several things at a time. You can either choose to kill a couple monsters, or you could destroy worms by stomping on them, or you have to pick up a number of ice cubes or something like that for a certain individual, an NPC. So you have different options at your hands, and the game Guild Wars 2 is just built in such a way that it's easy to level. Honestly, the leveling system in Guild Wars 2 is a lot easier to go through because the game is designed that way. The developers have made the game so that you could just level by exploring different zones. You don't even have to complete quests to get to a certain level. Honestly, like, I got to level 30 to level 37 just simply by moving from place to place, finding all of those points of interest, all those quest hubs. I have not completed most of these quests from all these zones that I've visited, just, from walking randomly from place to place. I just decided that I would walk around, look at the beautiful scenery, and get some experience while I'm at it, And at the same time, you also get experience from harvesting ingredients like mines or herbs, all that good stuff. So again, the game is built in such a way that the leveling system is so easy to go through, because let's face it, Guild Wars 2 is a PvP focused MMO, and the developers have made the leveling system, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering right now, but what I'm trying to say is that the leveling system is not as harsh as in World of Warcraft, because the game really wants you to get to that level cap so that you can actually start being more PvP competitive, because Guild Wars 2 right now has absolutely no PvE endgame content. So there are several dungeons, however, in the game, but as far as major raids go, there are none, and the game is very focused on world v world, realms, battlegrounds, all of that stuff, which is actually pretty fun. I'm pretty sure it is fantastic. I have not tried out the PvP system in Guild Wars 2 actually, so I can't really tell you anything about that, but I'm sure that it's a lot of fun to participate in World v World, because I've always, when I've played World of Warcraft, I always dreamt of a battleground or a PvP war that was just of an epic scale. I was always imagining of PvP as a big war going on. Instead of like 15 people opposing each other, I would always depict a giant battlefield having, you know, which had like thousands of players fighting each other, running at each other's faces, trying to help each other out in a big epic scaled battlefield instead of like a set battleground. World of Warcraft is really good at organizing PvP, but it's not really good. The PvP system is not really good for what it is in World of Warcraft because of the resilience system. And actually, I do believe that the resilience system in World of Warcraft has made PvP a lot, it made the system less solid. It just ruined it for me overall. And I just don't agree with the fact that people that have better gear in PvP have a bigger advantage over those that don't. The game is all about, it's supposed to be all about skill, right? But, you know, it's made in such a way that Blizzard has made PvP in a way that it forces you to keep playing the game and to pay a subscription fee. Anyway, I'm going off on a completely different tangent here. I'm sorry. But again, coming back to the question, I have to agree firmly that Guild Wars 2 should be your MMO pick of the generation right now. Because, first of all, if you're going to school or work, if you're busy right now and you don't have a lot of time with video games, then Guild Wars 2 will be your pick. It's not as addictive. Even though it's great, it's made to be mainstream. It focuses on a bigger demography. It just breaks a lot of those gaming stigmas. And it's just, overall, it's very innovative and has a very dynamic combat system. You can choose to do several things. You can level your way through the level cap just by doing PvP. You don't have to do quests, and you don't have to do any PvE content. If you do not wish to level in PvE content, then you can simply move on with PvP, which is great. So the game gives you different options. You don't have to be forced to do things. And right now, since there's no endgame content, you don't have to be forced to stick to a certain schedule like in World of Warcraft, because in World of Warcraft, it's always been about, you know, raiding schedules, meeting a certain schedule and being able to show up, beat a certain boss on a certain day before the other guild gets it. You have to be the top of the top guilds, and you always have to be serious about your role, and you also have to fill out applications for some of the guilds. If you wish to apply to a top guild in World of Warcraft, then you must be you have to be truly engaged, and sadly you'd have to drop a lot of the real life stuff that you have going on right now. So my advice, Guild Wars 2 is the better option for you, for any of you actually, even if you're not working or going to school. I mean, seriously, if you want to, I mean, if you can afford World of Warcraft, and if you've been playing Warcraft games for quite a while, then okay, maybe you might consider the game, because it has a lot of new features like pet battling, sub-professions for the cooking profession, as well as scenarios, which are kind of like the lesser version of dungeons, regular dungeons. And then you have a completely revamped talent system, which is more customizable and less stringent on, you know, rules and specific builds. So the expansion is a lot more fun. But again, I don't think World of Warcraft is the better option. So I'm just repeating myself at this point. But playing both of these games, I do have to say they are equally amazing. World of Warcraft is full of good content, and Guild Wars 2 is brand new, and it's already doing great for what it is. And I can't wait to see more expansions from Arena.net. If they ever release any, patches for Guild Wars 2, I'd be glad to try them out. Right now, I'm actually playing a little bit more World of Warcraft than I am playing Guild Wars 2, which is kind of saddening and frustrating, but at the same time, I am paying a subscription fee, so I am pushed to play the World of Warcraft a lot more than Guild Wars 2, which is completely free. Again, if you want to pick the greatest MMO, go for Guild Wars 2. Super thumbs up. It is the better choice. But anyway, that's all I had for that question. If you have any more questions for next week or the forthcoming week after the next week, then please post your questions in the comments section below, or you could actually mail the questions to my Google email, which I will probably post in the YouTube description. But that's all I had for today's video. Thanks for listening to today's Q&A. And again, thanks for the continued support. Make sure to like or even subscribe if you're the first person watching this. If you're a new viewer, you can also follow my Facebook or my Twitter for any random updates. Or you can also check out my Tumblr for any info on Guild Wars 2, my progress with that game. It's icshards.tumblr.com. Or I think it's actually tumblr.com/icshards. Yeah, that sounds right. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good night or morning or afternoon, wherever you might be in the world. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye.